That's right.
Downtown Sarasota is kind of smaller, and we end up going to the same places all the time. So a couple weekends ago, we were at brunch, and I was literally like, guys, we have never been to Naples. It's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Let's just get in the car right now and go to Naples.
And it was so fun. I'm so
much
glad
fun.
that we did that.
Like, we didn't even spend the night. We just drove there, went to some new places, checked out Fifth Ave. Del Mar was delicious. It was so good. And we drove back home.
Yeah. Our goal every month is to go to a new city in Florida.
At least one. Like, even Tampa. I've been to, like, once. We checked out the Addition. It was great.
I've been there many times, but I don't really go and explore. So.
Exactly.
I used to live there for 1.5 years, and I didn't go anywhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this year is all about exploring new places and doing the most with that. But also, this week's theme for the episode is about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Your guys' episode on a TV show on Fox is finally out. You guys went on a TV show. I really want to dive into this experience because that's pretty crazy.
First of all, it's been 14 months.
Is that how long it's been? Wow.
We filmed November 2022.
That's insane.
And it just came out, which is crazy.
It got pushed, right? Because it was supposed to premiere last season, and then they pushed it to winter instead of fall. So what show were you guys on? And I want you to describe what it is.
So the show is called I Can See Your Voice. We're in season 3, episode 8. It's a twinning episode.
And what is I Can See Your Voice for those of the people listening that don't know?
It is a game show. So the whole point of it is they're contestants that are trying to guess if you're a good or a bad singer. You're supposed to lip sync first, and then they're watching you and trying to figure out if you're a good or a bad singer.
And are you guys good or bad singers?
Obviously good.
You have to first watch the episode to figure it out.
It is available on Fox and Hulu, so if you guys have not yet, you should definitely check it out. It's worth the watch.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, how did you guys get on this show? Like, how did you hear about it?
So we got a message on our account. We have a twin account, and somebody,
on our Instagram.
Yeah, one of the producers reached out and they said, "Hey, we're looking for twins for this show." And
did they say it was a singing show?
At first, I don't think we really knew what it was, and I'm like, okay. And they told us it was King Jong's. Which I was like, wait, who is this? He sounds familiar. And then we're like, wait, that's the Asian guy from Hangover.
We love him.
An icon.
Yeah, and I'm like, why would they want us on that?
Yeah.
So we first thought it was a scam. And I'm like, yeah, okay, some producers reached out to us. Okay.
I actually responded. I was like, oh, sorry, not interested.
And they're like, hey, just hear us out. We can do a Zoom interview, and then we can go from there. So we're like, okay, whatever. We could just do a Zoom interview. And then we did a few of them, and then we had to send an audition tape.
I remember you guys came over to my apartment, and it would be like 9 or 10 o'clock at night on the weekend, and you guys are recording your audition tapes singing to these different songs, and I was like, my neighbors hate me.
So I guess we should mention, so we're considered bad singers on this show. I wouldn't say we're that bad of singers in real life, but we had to be extra dramatic. So whenever we sent in our singing video, the audition tapes, they're like, you have to be worse. Like, make it 10 times worse. Be super dramatic. Give it all your worst that you possibly can. I'm like, okay. So we're doing this at Yana's apartment, and I'm like, wow, Yana, you're going to get kicked out of here. Because we sounded terrible.
I was laughing so hard. I remember you guys had to redo takes because I just could not hold back. I was like, this is hilarious.
It was so hard. Okay, first of all, one of my biggest fears is stage fright. Like, I'm a very talkative, outgoing person, but if I have to talk in front of people, it's hard for me.
Well, a studio audience and then being on a big TV show network is not a light thing to tackle.
Exactly. So, and then another thing is singing. Are you kidding me? Like, we knew when we were auditioning what exactly we would have to do, and I'm like, okay, why would we do this? Why would we go in this show and embarrass ourselves? And
Our
then
husbands were so supportive. They're like, come on, you got this. This is going to be such a great opportunity. Go do it.
It's a once in a lifetime
I know.
experience.
exactly.
Well, I also remember you guys saying, you're like, we probably won't even get on, so let's just keep going.
Yeah, because so there were a lot of twins auditioning, and so when they told us they're gonna fly us out, and then you do all these auditions
Wait,
and training.
how long was it from when the producer contacted you until they flew you out? And where did they fly you out to?
I think it's been like a month, maybe 2. I don't remember. And then we flew out to Atlanta. And then we were there like 7, 8, maybe 9 days. I don't remember how long it's been. Like almost
but
2
over
years.
a week.
Yeah, it's been a little over a week, and we had a blast though.
Every day. So you have trainings every day. They teach you how to lip sync, and then they teach you how to sing really bad. Or
It was like a boot camp to be a really, really bad singer.
But when we were doing our bad singing, they were like, we don't even have to teach you to sing bad. You guys are doing great.
You're the best, worst singers.
But sometimes we would be like harmonizing. They're like, wait, guys, that's really hard to do, even if you're a really good singer. I think once we sing together, we're actually somewhat okay. I wouldn't say we're good, but together we're okay.
Also, we were in choir for probably, 10, 12 years?
Yeah, if our choir director heard of us or watch us sing, she'd be very disappointed.
Well, I know that, like, at least us three, we're tone deaf. Like,
Yeah,
our
100%.
grandparents and
Yeah.
stuff, they sing, like, well, they can go, like, all the
Yeah,
octaves.
our mom sings great. Yeah, our grandparents sing amazing. So I don't know what happened to us 3.
We didn't
Yeah.
get that gift, unfortunately.
No, definitely not. So, when you guys were in Atlanta, so they flew you out, what happened there?
So we got to Atlanta and we got to our hotel room. The next morning, you get this personal driver that takes you to the auditions. Well, it wasn't auditions. It was like
Training camp?
Training, yeah. So we get there. First thing, we get picked up and you see Barack Obama and Justin Timberlake. Well, we see that in our car.
You guys Snapchatted me with Barack and JT, and I was like, what?
So our driver picks us up, and then there's 2 people sitting in front. One of them says, "Hey guys, I'm JT," and the other one's like, "Hey guys, I'm Obama." And we're like, what?
I'm like, why are they picking us up? I was so confused. So we're not even allowed to say our real names on this show. When they were interviewing us, they said, what do you do for work? We said, we're in process of opening a spa, a medical spa. So they named us spa owners. And then we find out they're doppelgangers for another episode, and they look just like them. It was
Justin Timberlake looked so...
Yeah.
He literally looks so much like him.
It's crazy.
When I was talking to him, I couldn't believe that wasn't him.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so, throughout most of the days, what's your daily routine? Like, you're in the hotel, you're going to boot camp, and then back to the hotel?
Yeah, we were there just for the first 5 days. So you're just there for a few hours. You're doing the boot camp. They teach you to be super bad. And then we go home.
And you knew you were going on the show at this point?
No, we didn't know. I don't know if anybody knew if they're making it on the episode. So we actually didn't know. The first 5 days, we're just, training and just having fun. And then the last 3 days, I believe, you find out if you make it on the episode. So
honestly, at this point, when we were doing all these boot camps or whatever, and it was a lot. And when we were singing so bad, I'm like, honestly, if we don't get chosen, I'm okay with it, because this is crazy. This is scary. So then we went out when we were eating, and Ina gets a phone call from them and then said, "Hey guys, you're going to be on the episode." I literally lost my appetite.
I lost my appetite too.
I could not believe it. And
the next day we got picked up at like 6 a.m. That's when it got really hard. We had to do so much like practice, and we were on the actual stage practicing and things like that. They did our professional hair, makeup. I'm not gonna lie, I hated our outfit. They chose, okay, I don't even know what we're allowed to say or not. We signed like a 40-page NDA, but I feel like this is okay.
Yeah.
But we had no say in anything. We couldn't choose our outfits, the way our makeup or hair looks. The things we even said was scripted.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's TV, but
So
that's
when they-
very crazy.
When we come there and they told us we're wearing scrubs, they asked our sizes and we told them, listen, we're really tall and all pants are short on us.
Mhm.
So make sure that we get long pants. So when we arrived there, they said, you're wearing scrubs. And then we got 6 pairs of different scrubs. And I'm like, oh God, I hope that our scrubs
least
are
one is
long
long.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why are we wearing scrubs? Spa owners, like, we're not going to wear well, okay, maybe we'll be wearing scrubs.
some.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know why it was scrubs. Anyways.
Yeah, so we're trying all these scrubs and they are so short. I always hated wearing jeans that are too short or leggings. That's why I always wear longer socks.
But
because
these were like flared capri. They were so
Exactly.
bad. It's like high
so
waters.
when I find out this is what we have to wear, and they're like, "Oh no, this is so chic,
chic.
Chic.
chic," and I'm like, "This is not chic." I was so sad. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I guess."
I think we all hated our outfits in the episode. But anyways, so the day before the final show started, we were there for I think like 17 hours from
Yeah.
super early morning till 1 a.m. We're doing the whole practice run. They do our hair, makeup. We wear the clothes as if we were in front of the live audience, and they record. I think they did.
They did record
They did
us.
record us actually, just in case you faint or fall off the stage. They have backup recordings. So,
Wait, why would you faint?
oh my gosh, I could so see. I'm surprised we didn't faint.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're recording the show, you're standing on this platform and you have to have a position. And it's crazy because when you watch this episode, it is just.
You're
it's-
on there for like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they only show like a few seconds of you just standing on stage. But realistically, it was a couple hours and you're standing like
Frozen.
frozen with a microphone.
yeah.
For a couple hours, and they give you a black square to stare at, and that's all you're gonna look at.
Everybody gets their own little square in the background. Like stare at your square. Don't look at anywhere else. So the whole time you're just standing there, you're exhausted. My legs like were going numb. You're standing there for hours. It's super early in the morning. They would give us a cracker and a sip of water. So yeah, we were exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
I look back at the video. I'm like, we look miserable.
No,
but that's because before.
Yeah, no, literally watching the show after you guys told me this, even on a different episode, I was like, these people look exhausted. I have another question. Did you guys ever think that you're going to be on a TV show? Was that ever
Absolutely
planned?
not. No.
You know, we've had some messages on Instagram from some producers. One of them was Extreme Sisters.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, like the twin show?
Yes, where twins are like overly obsessed with each other.
Isn't that like where they have the same husband or something like that?
There's a
There's
pair
some
of
weird
twins
couples, yeah.
who share a husband, and they're just they like you eat a piece of cracker, the other one has to eat a piece of cracker.
Like you have to eat the same exact meal, work out the
when
same
they
amount.
offered that, I was like, we're obsessed with each other, but we're not
Not that obsessed.
extreme. So we had a couple opportunities, but this one, I don't even know what made us take it.
It just happened.
Honestly, it was so much fun. I remember the night before, we're so exhausted. We get home at like 1:30 or 2 a.m. We have to be up at 4 a.m. to go record, do the actual live show.
episode.
We had the worst migraine, especially when I had to massage her head. I'm like, Ola, we got this.
Well,
We made it this far.
our song got changed.
It got
Like, the night
changed
before,
multiple times, which
multiple
was super
times,
stressful.
yeah. 2 of our songs. So the night before, one of our songs got changed that we practiced for a week, and then they said, hey, we have to do this song. And that was so stressful, and we had to learn new words, and it did not match us at all.
Yeah, I don't think we sounded like the lip sync challenge. We sounded nothing like us. But
Yeah.
again, we had no say in it, and it's fine. Even the song we got like that we had to reveal our real voices. First of all, I had like a bad F word. I'm like, I'm not gonna say an F word. I don't cuss.
I don't think they would do that on TV.
But they said we don't use bad words on live TV. So I'm like, okay.
yeah.
Anyways, it was amazing. It was such a great opportunity. When I did this, I said if I could do this, I could do anything because it really was so stressful. And like right before you go up on the stage, you're just kind of like blacked out. You're exhausted. I felt like I was like hypnotized. Look at my freaking black square in the audience. I'm just so tired. And right before me and Ola walked up on the stage, Ola goes, Ina, I forgot everything. I forgot my name. I forgot our business name, everything. You're gonna have to take over and speak.
So this was you're right before you go on stage. So it's crazy because if you look at the episode, everything is so fast. But when they choose you, you actually go behind. You still practice the song. They don't show obviously any of that. So when you know you're about to come up, you have an earpiece and it's telling you 10, 9, 8, and it's like a countdown. As we're walking, I literally look at Ina. I'm like, Ina, I don't know my name. I don't know what we do for a living. You're going to take over. And we're right on stage. So I like threw her in.
And out of the two of us, Ola's the talkative one. She's the extrovert. So I'm like, are you serious? She's the one who was supposed to say more. Sadly, they cut off a lot on our episode.
They literally
we got to advertise our business. Well, we thought we did. We got to say, yes, we own the Twin Spa in Sarasota, Florida. Even the producers told us, yeah, take advantage of this and talk about your spa. But unfortunately, it got cut off. We had fun. This was such a fun, incredible trip.
Would you do it again?
I don't
think I would, to be honest.
If I had to relive this, I'm glad that I met all the cool people that we did meet. But just remembering the actual experience,
the stress that came with it.
Yeah, it was a lot. I've never actually understood how much one episode could take. Couple days.
And props to all the producers and the workers. They are freaking hard workers. Whatever they had to do, I felt bad for them. But they were amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I'm so proud of you guys. My little celebrity ants. I genuinely, it's so amazing. And getting to finally watch the episode, I was just like, wow, this went all the way from filming in my apartment to on Fox, and I just think that that's so cool because not many people get that opportunity. Speaking of stepping outside of your comfort zone, I feel like it's a little bit of a tough thing to do coming from the Slavic culture.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I want to elaborate a little bit on that. So when we say the Slavic culture, we're speaking from our personal experience.
The way we grew up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's specifically from within like a conservative Christian Slavic community. And I feel like you guys especially experienced that quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
You know, growing up, I feel like we were under a microscope, everything we did, at least within the church.
I don't know if it's like just our family or that's just how everybody else felt.
Yeah, no, I was always very afraid of like stepping out of line because what are people going to think?
That was me my whole like teen years. So let's go back a little bit.
Yes.
When Ola and I were teenagers, the amount of people that talked crap about us.
I remember
so
this.
much.
Like, I'm honestly I'm not still traumatized, but there's a lot of things that make me be very cautious about trusting people.
Yeah.
Looking back, a lot of girls were mean girls. And I remember Ola and I would be matching, you know, twins. We've been matching since we were little girls. Nothing new to us. But we would be matching. We got so much hate for it. We still get hate for it. We're 30 years old. We still get hate for it.
It's
Don't
crazy.
care. Yes.
How much it actually bothers people. I mean, we would literally get messages on our social media and saying, "Why are you guys matching? How old are you? This is so immature." And it is always girls just hating. I'm like, why do you care if I'm matching? Like, I'm literally gonna match till I die.
Let somebody do what they want to do.
Like, who
if it
cares
makes you
what
happy.
I'm wearing?
When we were teenagers, I remember a lot of times I'd be like, Ola, can we please just not match today? Like,
We're gonna
especially
get-
going to church or whatever. I do not want that unnecessary rumors or talks, like, for no reason. Sometimes Ola and I would wake up, I'm like, what are we going to hear about us today? People would just make up the most random things that happen. I remember going to our cousin's wedding. It was in a different church. We got a like message on MySpace, and this girl wrote, hey, if you want to come to this wedding, you guys can't dress alike, or you can't wear like these type of dresses, can't have your nails done or wear makeup. I'm like, this is my cousin's wedding. You're not even like you're not related.
It was a random person.
I know the girl.
We knew the girl.
Yes.
But was she like related to the bride or groom?
No, she was
So we
just
told-
invited to the
They
wedding.
were just trying to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So we're telling our mom, we're like, Mom, like, we're getting this message this is our cousin's wedding. Like, I want to wear a pretty dress. If you go to a Slavic wedding, all the girls look like they're going on a red carpet. They all dress up so
Literally.
nice. So I'm like, Mom, these girls, this is what they're saying. And Mom's like, we're going to go to the store. We're going to get you guys the most beautiful dresses. Who cares what people are going to say?
I love our mom so much for
love
that.
her
So
for
much
that.
respect, because she hated the amount of rumors or whatever we had about us. So she bought us the most beautiful long red dresses. I remember that.
And then
I
it had
felt-
one sleeve, and
Yeah.
the other sleeve was open. And that church was
Ooh,
conservative, and everybody
scandalous.
would wear like a what's
A
a cover up? No, a cover
A
up.
shuba.
Shuba.
Nakitka.
Nakitka.
Ola, do you remember at that wedding, we go to the bathroom, this one girl looks at your hair and
She
she's
pulls
like,
me aside.
yeah, she's like, your hair doesn't look good. Let me fix it for you. So she took it. She flipped your like,
Okay, so
bangs.
back then, I was probably 16, 17, I don't remember. So back then, middle part of the hair was not a thing. Every person had side bangs
Deep
and
side part.
the big nachos. What is that?
Tees.
on the
Big
hair.
tees.
This girl literally, as I was in the restroom, I'm washing my hands and she's like, hey, I need to fix your hair. Your hair looks really bad. She just pulls out her brush, puts my hair in the middle. I already have so much hairspray
And
in
you
my
just
hair.
let her.
I let her because, again, I'm such a people pleaser. I'm scared to say no to things. Then Ina sees me. She's like, Hola, what is this? You got to change your hair back. I'm like, she made me do this. She literally changed my hair.
I remember a time we just turned 17. We were in Oregon with like our youth or choir or something. And it was our birthday. And we're also matching. I think we're wearing like these blue hoodies. I don't know. And we're in the bathroom. And these girls locked us in there. They were matching. They were making...
On
they
your
were-
birthday?
Yeah, on our birthday.
Why are you guys matching? Why are you trying to get all the attention? And then we're like, well, we're twins and it's actually our birthday. But it was just so crazy. I mean, to lock somebody up because they're matching.
Yeah. No, and it seems like such a small, inconspicuous thing, but it's still so mean because in those moments, like, those are traumatizing moments, you know? It's like, who are you to tell you guys what to wear and how I think a lot of people are threatened by the fact that you guys get attention for matching. And, you know, there's even studies done. Like, I thought this was really interesting. I was listening to this. There was a study done where women came into a hair salon, and the more attractive that the hairstylist thought that the woman was, the more hair she would recommend her
Cutting
to
off?
cut off. She would cut off more hair than usual. And the more, like, closer to or less than attractive than themselves that they found a woman to be, the less hair they recommended be chopped off.
Yana, you're 6 feet tall. You're really tall. Do you feel like you got a lot of hate for it growing up?
I wouldn't necessarily say hate, but, you know, I grew very early on. So when I was in middle school, like 12, 13 years old, the awkward stages of life, I was a head taller than everyone in my class, than all the boys. I was taller than my teachers.
Wow.
And I was also a super weird kid. Like, I would wear like neon purple tutus.
I remember.
And so I would just walk around hunched over, slouched over, and I was very insecure because, you know, you're just the odd one out. And I remember like boys stopping in the hallway. There was one in particular, and it was so dumb, but he stopped in the hallway and he was like, my name's Yana and I'm a tree. And I was like,
That's so mean.
like, there were just so many small comments that people would say jokingly, but overall it made me feel more awkward, more alone. I remember my friends were like, oh, I have a crush on this boy, or I'm dating this guy, or like I had my first kiss. And it's like, I didn't have that because it's like, A, all the boys were so much shorter than me. And B, I just felt so awkward and uncomfortable in my own skin. And it took me a long time to become confident.
I used to be in love with this kid. I was in 8th or 9th grade. And at that point, I was probably already 5'8". And I would measure myself in the bathroom and I'm like, ugh, I'm growing. And he told me that we cannot be together because I'm too tall. And I was
So
so sad. I'm
sad.
like, why am I so tall? Like, please stop growing. I want to be short. And when my friends would be like, I wish I was taller. I'm like, no, you don't. There's no jeans. There's no clothes. And
Fits you.
All the skirts and dresses are too short.
everything
to
is
wear.
short.
Story of our lives. But yeah, he end up marrying a girl a head taller than him though.
Yeah, but he's also like 5'7", 5'6". So,
But that means you weren't too tall for him.
whatever.
You guys were always considered bad girls. Like, I just remember things always going around, and I'm like, looking back, what did you guys do that was so bad?
I
Like,
wonder that myself. What made us bad girls? We
Exactly.
didn't party. We didn't drink. What was making us
you
so
were
bad?
always in trouble.
Yes.
The amount of rumors, again, I remember there was people saying, oh, the twins are sleeping around. They're kissing these boys. At that point, I never even kissed a boy. And I'm like, where are these people getting this information from? This is insane.
Or remember there was a rumor that you raped a guy?
I hate that rumor. That's the stupidest thing in the
People
world.
still bring that up, don't
And I still wonder, how the flip did that even happen? At that point, I literally never even kissed a boy, but there was a rumor that I raped somebody. And then our church was going and praying for homeless people. And they took me aside and they told me I cannot pray for them because of the room or because of the story. And I
because
was,
you're a rapist?
how horrible is that?
That's horrible.
It's so messed up.
Let's clear the air right here, right
I
now.
promise
Have
you
you
guys-
ever raped a boy?
I promise I have never done that. No, I don't even know who made that rumor on who did I rape till this day. I don't know.
That's insane.
Stupid. I remember talking to a guy from a different state, and then he's like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I heard that you raped a guy, and I just don't think we can talk. And then I was like, this is the first time I actually heard that rumor, and I was like, ha ha ha, yep, that's what I do. And then he's like, wow,
That's actually not funny.
yeah. He thought that was
He
not
didn't
funny.
get
And
the sarcasm?
I was like, what? This is actually a thing? And then I heard it from different people. And when my youth pastor pulled me aside and told me I can't pray for the homeless because of that, I was like, wow, this is really sad.
Weren't there fake accounts made?
Yes.
There was a lot of fake accounts made from us. I remember my cousin was throwing a party and there was random people there. And some guy comes up to me and he says, hi, Anastasia, it is so nice to meet you. And then I was like, oh, I'm actually Ola. And he's like, wow, okay, you must have a twin sister. And then I was like, yeah, I do have a twin, but her name is Ina. He's like, then who's Anastasia? And then I was like, I don't know. He pulls up, it was Odnoklassniki, so it was like a Russian Facebook.
Russian Facebook?
Yeah. He pulls up all the messages that they've been talking for months. And there were so many inappropriate things that I was literally sick to my stomach. And that Anastasia did not live in Colorado at that time because that's where I lived. She lived in a different state. And then she promised how she's going to visit him. There was a lot of bad things said. And I literally read that and I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm like, this is so sad because obviously this guy thinks this is me.
Yeah.
So we found a few different accounts and even caught somebody saying, hey, there was an email under it. And I was like, why would you create an account for us? And like, oh, this was just a joke. I'm like, this is not
Wait,
funny.
you confronted the people?
There was actually two sisters who made a fake account from us. And there was an email that they left. I don't know if it was Facebook or MySpace. And I messaged them. I was like, hey, this is a fake profile. Why did you make this?
Our names were Allie and AJ.
Yeah. Isn't that like
Allie and AJ? Yeah, that's like
yeah,
the
celebrities.
They were like
or
on Disney
singers.
Channel or something.
The
But they used
breakup
our
song.
photos, and I remember using these photos. We were bridesmaids at a wedding, and they would like post of us, and they says us
Prom.
in prom.
I'm like, I've never even been to prom.
I never went to prom either. Guys, we should throw a prom for all the people that never went to
I would
prom.
love that.
If you guys want to have a prom, we should have a prom. Let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, we never got to prom because we were homeschooled and we were losers.
Yeah. Well, I left high school early, so
Because
Yeah.
you were smart.
yeah, something like that. No, but I feel like getting outside of your comfort zone is not people pleasing.
Right.
Like, especially when you are a people pleaser and that's all you know, it's easier to just stay in that and continue doing that. And actually being able to say no and set a boundary is a really scary thing to do, especially
Yeah.
when you're just starting to learn how to do that.
Yeah. I'm 30 now, and it's still like so hard for me to get out of that comfort zone, to not care what people are saying.
No, because in our culture, like, if you get your ears pierced, you're kind of a bad girl.
I got my ears pierced when I got married. It was like 2 weeks in, and I was telling my husband, I'm like, can I get my ears pierced? He's like, wait, you don't have your ears pierced? He was confused, but I did feel rebellious for doing that. Our parents did say, get married, do whatever you want.
And ask your husband for permission.
Yes.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, because the church we grew up with was very conservative. So if you pierce your ears, they literally thought that a devil lives in that hole. So
Yeah.
I remember my mom was saying, well, did you hear the sermon? That's what they said. And then she would literally say, what if a guy is not going to marry you because you have your ears pierced?
I don't want to
Like-
marry that guy.
And I remember at that point, I was just friends with my husband. And we were talking, and I was like, hey, what do you think about somebody having their ears pierced? And he was like, what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, well, I'm talking to this guy, and he doesn't think piercings are bad. And he's like, well, is he your husband? I'm like, no.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, but I had that fear, and I don't know where
It's
they
like
got
the little
that from.
things that our nails, if they're painted red or something.
Too bright.
Yes.
Devil.
If you dye your hair,
But if you're a 50-year-old woman in church covering your grays, it doesn't count.
that's okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, those were definitely some of the things where it's like you had to watch your steps very carefully and try to fit into the culture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
I very much had a workspace mentality with how we grew up. Like, I thought you had to earn your way to heaven. I thought it was like a point system. If I do enough good things, then I'll go to heaven. If I do enough bad things, God's going to be mad at me, or like I'm going to go to
Honestly,
hell.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like how we grew up, and then going to a different church and learning about the gospel and that you're truly saved by grace through faith and in that alone, and that it's not about what you do.
Actually, I don't think I really truly knew about grace until I got married when I was 19 years old. When my husband talked to me, he was my fiance at the time. And I was like, what does he believe in?
By believing in
Yeah.
grace.
By believing in grace, he would be like, babe, you're not saved by your good or bad works. You're saved by the grace of God. You don't
Yeah.
have to be good or bad. So to me, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and obviously it's also not like a license to sin thing where it's like,
Absolutely.
oh, I'm saved by grace through faith, I'm gonna go like do whatever I want to. But it's like we're all sinful creatures, and like we're born that way, and it's like we're gonna do our best, but no matter how good you are or what you do, it's not enough to earn your way to heaven. And that's what differentiates this religion from anything else in the world. And I just want to put that out there for a lot of people, because I know I'm not saying all Slavic churches are this way, or even the one we grew up in is still this way, but that's just the mentality that we had when we grew up. And for anyone that's still that way, like, it's so important to know that like you are just saved by grace through faith, and that's it. Let's continue talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone.
One of the biggest ones was even us getting on the TV show. That took a lot of
Courage.
to stand up there and to do it.
Seriously.
So yeah, we really were brave to do it, and I'm glad we did.
And even starting this podcast. I
That's
mean,
true.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of feedback, and a lot of great feedback, which is amazing. But I'm sure there are a lot of haters who are also saying stuff too. You know, they might not agree with us about certain things, which is okay. We're not going to be on the same page with everyone. And this is really stepping out of our comfort zone, because, you know, when you hear yourself on
On a recording.
yeah, it sounds horrible. And same thing when I watch myself on TV, I'm like, this is even worse than
So
recording
embarrassing.
yourself. This is crazy. So this is definitely a big stepping out of our comfort zone.
I used to be so embarrassed about my accent, and I hated posting things on Instagram. I would never speak on videos or anything. I'd mute it. Like, I don't want anybody to hear my voice. So this is like a huge
Yeah, no,
Step forward.
I think we're also getting out of our comfort zone because our goal here is to try to be, vulnerable. Like, it's hard to be vulnerable and you don't know who's going to hear it, how many people are going to hear it. And you're really putting yourself out there, and being on a podcast and listening to yourself and putting something out on the internet. It's like, you don't know how people are going to respond. You don't know if everyone's going to agree with what you say. You might not even agree with what you say in a year from now. And that's the scary thing. And all you can do is be as authentic as you can with yourself and try to be vulnerable. And that's all we're trying to do here is like be ourselves, let you guys know like what our experiences growing up throughout our lives, our perspective on things. And we're not trying to push any agenda. We just want, to let you guys know what life is like. I don't know. For us, at least.
Exactly.
But I think it's very hard for people to be vulnerable about a lot of things in general, especially in our culture.
I was going to say, in our culture, a lot of things are not talked about as much as it should be.
I agree.
Like, mental health, for example, in Slavic culture, I don't know if that exists. Depression, things like that.
Yeah.
People look down upon that, which is really sad.
Like, what do you mean you're depressed? Snap out of it. You're
Придумала.
Придумала, exactly.
Like, it's all in your head. And I get it, too. I think that there is a fine line because there's also the issue with everything in America now being like, oh, let's just diagnose you with this right away. Let's diagnose you with this. Let's put you on this medication. I'm not saying, like, all medication is bad and completely unnecessary, but I personally do believe that it's overprescribed and people are overdiagnosed. Everyone's looking for their own almost like victim card and this and this and that. I'm not saying depression doesn't exist, anxiety doesn't exist. I personally went through depression and anxiety and struggled with that. And I know many people who have struggled with mental illness, and it is a real thing. But when somebody's struggling, it's very rare to hear that talked about in Slavic culture.
Exactly. Which is sad. And I wish it was more talked about because everybody goes through something.
Yeah. No, I think it's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay that way. And it's important to talk to the people in your life, trusted people, about what you're going through and that you're not okay, especially if you're like in a church community. You should be able to talk about that. And I think especially with like Slavic men, there's a lot that like do not talk about feelings, do not want to show weakness, and that's just like something that they grew up with, something that we grew up with. No, I feel like there are a lot of things, not even necessarily just in Slavic culture, but it's really hard for people to open up and talk about things like infertility, addiction, abuse. I mean, even for me, like opening up about my past and the things that I struggled with and that I wasn't proud of, and things in my childhood, it's really hard to be vulnerable with people. But I think they're important things to be talked about, and there's definitely a lot that we're going to expand upon in future episodes of the podcast. I just want to say thank you guys for supporting us, for listening. We do this for you guys, for us, and we want to grow this together, and we want to talk about the things you guys want to hear as well. So please reach out to us and let us know what you guys want us to talk about. If you have any stories that you want us to share, we would love to do that. And now we're going to get into Word of the Week.
So we actually never plan our word of the week. We kind of it just comes to our head.
Yeah.
And you know what just came to my head? I don't know if you guys will agree, but this is what just got to my head. Будь добр.
Будь
I don't
добрым.
even know if I'm saying that right.
Будь добрым? Like,
Yeah.
be nice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was будь добрый.
Добрый.
Or
Dobrym.
добрая.
Dobraya, it's like, that's the female version.
I think будь добрый.
But dobrym means like, be nice to both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Будь
So we can-
добрым.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Love the Russian grammar lesson.
We need it ourselves. We need the Russian grammar
Seriously.
lesson.
Добрый, добрая.
Okay, so будь добрым means be a nice person.
Yes,
Be
be
nice.
nice. Be nice.
Yeah, and so that's our word of the week for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hopefully our video works this time. 'Cause
Yes.
It's been a lot, you guys.
This has been so fun and cozy, and I'm just glad that you guys got to hang out with us in our hotel room.
I know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.